So this is the Black Ops 6 beta, and so far it had its like good run the first few games I played, but then it started showing its true colors and feels like every other COD, but with some slightly sweatier movement, as well as more EONN, so that's great. But let me just talk about exclusively the AK really quick, because I'm going to nitpick all the details I can as humanly possible with the AK right now. So, first off is the fact that there's a lanyard on it, or a sling on it. Like, that's not the issue. I'm pretty much think that's like an accurate representation of the slings that come with AKs, because they usually do. Mostly, I think new ones, but pre-owned maybe. Either way, it's the fact that it ignores the two very obvious and clear attachment points for it on the stock and the front of the lower handguard. It instead favors a spot welded onto the two front rivets of the front trunnion for whatever god knows why reason, and possibly nylon or maybe parachute strings because it's a war game on the back of the stock for also god knows why. However, luckily, changing the stock removes it. So, I mean, it's unfortunate you can't have the main stock, but, I mean, hey, you at least have the RPK stock, and also an underfolder stock. And in a strange turn of events, Treyarch is the one to do this, but only gives them half of the appreciation points. The receiver, well, at least the rear of it, changes depending on if you're using a folding stock, which is honestly very great, but I think it's missing a rivet on this side, that is, but I believe on the right side it's present. I am not sure. Either way, there's the Chinese stock, then there's the triangle stock that everyone's known for the AKS, and then there's the AK-105 stock, or a pseudo version of it, because this doesn't look that much like the stock. There's something funky going on with this. And also, it's clipping through surprisingly a modeled like rod. That's the like swivel for the ability to actually fold the stock. So that's unfortunate, but despite being 4 years in development, this is still a beta, so I'll only give minor just like yelling and complaints, because apparently 4 years to develop a COD game is still not enough. We need like 6 years, and that's going to be impossible with the fact that we're still doing yearly releases, because COD is a dumbass and refuses to actually make a good game because they want, a quick buck rather than a long-lasting, full of money. But let me attach the worst stock here and show you that there is no, clip at the front of the receiver. It should be below just the second rivet of the front trunnion, or maybe in between both rivets. Either way, it's not present there, and also that clipping issue is heavily present on this side of the view. But anyways, moving on. Now we go to the barrels. First up, we have an AK-74M barrel, which is not bad. I think that lower handguard is a little bit different, and it's also, for some reason, reddish instead of just the regular, gray, so that's kind of weird, but yeah. Moving on, we now have a long barrel with a AK-M gas block, for whatever reason. And also, it sports the pseudo SVD, more of like a Saiga rifle sporting handguard, because that exposed gas tube is present, and also the fact that it's just a completely different lower handguard in general. And then we have the AK-105 barrel with what looks to be cheese holes on the furniture for whatever reason. But I don't think that doesn't exist, so, you know, whatever. Then we have the reinforced barrel, which is based on the STG 940. Although it is not narrowed, like more at the front, it is instead just flat all around, which is kind of weird, but I mean, hey, you know, it's technically an AK variant, so this is maybe plausible, I don't know. But weirdest thing of all is we have the AKS-34U pseudo barrel, because this is, I believe, slightly longer. It doesn't have the rear, like, leaf spring that would be the, like, iron sight, and it would be attached to the dust cover, so it could be hinged as well as, you know, just basically different all around. The top handguard, like the gas tube cover, has more Swiss cheese holes for also whatever reason, and the lower handguard has dimples for God knows why, and also rivets for further God knows why. But I mean, hey, you know, it's not too bad. Just weird barrels all around, like slightly odd, different changes. But I mean, the main barrel is good enough. Let's remove this really quick. Good at this. So moving on to underbarrels, Treyarch finally understands that you don't have to have reality bending glue to attach foregrips, which is very good, very good. But for some reason, they ignore the GP50's like normal way of being fitted onto the gun, which I believe is from underneath the barrel. I do not believe you require a Picatinny rail for the GP50, so that's just stupid. But either way, you can have a actual AKM pistol grip again, but this one's slightly different looking for whatever reason, because I believe this one's less accurately modeled compared to the one that's actually on the gun. And then we can have the Romanian Dawn, which is actually kind of huge. But this one, also, if I am correct, I believe there's little, like, divots, like, on the top that match the divots below on the upper handguard, which I believe should be present on the default handguard, but they're not there for whatever reason. But, I mean, hey, you know, I'll let slide. Either way, cut off Romanian Dawn, which is very huge, but also kind of weird. And we can also have the, like, attempt at recreating the pistol grip, even though it's right there, so they don't have to recreate it, of the grenade launcher, which is kind of funny. So, yeah, there's that. And then one of the biggest things that I hated from Cold War is still present onto here. And I'm going to talk about it before I select it because it will change the moment I select it. So, the magazine, if you look at it, look how it's seated and pay attention to it when I select it. The newer magazine will be seated slightly more frontwards, like by an inch or a centimeter, compared to the default magazine, and all the magazines follow that for whatever reason. I don't know why this is an issue, and why this still is an issue, even though this game has been 4 years in development, you know, but anyways, let me show you. Boom. Yeah, that's just weird. I don't know why. Also, I'm not sure if this should be holding 40 rounds, but I mean, I don't know AK-74 mag lengths compared to the AK normal mag lengths, like AKMs, like the 7.62s. But then we have the fast mag, which is olive green-ish and cut through, which I mean, hey, probably based off an AK variant or whatnot. I believe, like, slightly. Like, this is weird looking, but I mean, it's whatever. This probably exists. So we have a 50-round Bakelite mag, which is very huge, literally and also funnily. Split mags, which are based on the like normal style of AKM mags, but with 545 enabled to exist. Not sure about if this exists. And then we have a non-existent 545 drum mag. But I mean, hey, you know, they gotta have the drum mag for an AK somehow. And if you have to, you know, load up a 7.62 drum mag with 545, I think that can kind of work. And then we have the rear grips, which are based off of like other AK variants, which I also like, but I don't know like what AK variant these are based on. I'm not sure if this one's based off an AK variant or this one, but I do know that I believe this one and this one especially are based on AK variants, and this one is a cut down AK-47 pistol grip, which is gross. Why are all the CQB grips so fucking small for God knows why? And last but not least, truly the most horrific thing this AK has on it that's wrong, the safety lever is on safe. And also really quick, all of the lasers have a attachment point just like Modern Warfare 2, except for finally, if you don't have a laser, it's not present. So thank you, Treyarch, for at least giving us that, even though you didn't give us a AAA game, you gave us a AAA shit back. But yeah, the safety lever is on. If you turn it on semi, it's in full auto position, so they understand it's supposed to move, but for some reason it's unsafe. I do not know why this is an issue after 2 games, technically 1, made it present and known that the safety lever should be in the full auto position of an AK. And Cold War even had it on semi, so at least it's functional, even though it's not full auto. Yeah. And the ND inspect on the drum mag has the operator just split through it, which gives you physical distress, and I will require you the therapy and will possibly sue Khan. Of course, I will not, because it's Call of Duty, they probably have really good lawyers anyways, and suing them for something like that would be absolutely dumb and stupid, as opposed to finding out and proving their EORM systems and then suing them based on that. But I digress. Anyways, and also the bolt fully travels too, like in first-person animations. In third-person animations, it half travels, which is gross and disgusting. But in the first-person animations, it fully travels. So this is really just an easy fix that they could definitely do. Is just move the fucking lever. Like, that's not that hard. And then fix changing the semi-auto to actually be in the proper semi-auto position. So yeah, this is so far just everything that's wrong with the AK. So yeah, the video's over.